Brittany, thank you very much. We are happy to be joined now via Skype by Ballad Health Chief Infection Prevention Officer Jamie Swift. This is Ask the Experts time, and we're talking about COVID-19. Jamie, thank you for joining us live today. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
We are now at about 2 weeks, getting to there after the big New Year holiday, and we talk a lot about trends. What are you seeing?
And we still continue to see a decreased testing across the region. So, that plays right into our high positivity rate that we're seeing. So really the message is, if you've been in a high risk exposure, if you're having symptoms, any of those things, you really still need to get tested. We need to identify those cases. That high positivity rate tells us there's still a lot of cases out there. So certainly be tested.
That high positivity rate is over 30%, so like 1 in 3 of the tests that are coming back in. Are those Ballad tests or are those all tests? Are you tracking just your numbers or those plus health departments?
Yeah, I think those are all tests. It's on the scorecard, so we're really looking at what's going on in the region.
So here we are in vaccination mode, and we're hearing from a lot of people who are getting vaccinated. Some numbers we're seeing, 4,500 people now have been vaccinated. Have received the second dose. Nearly 17,000 have received that first dose. Are you happy with what you're seeing in terms of I know you'd like to get them all out as fast as like snap the fingers, but are we doing an okay job, or are you concerned?
I'm really pleased with this region. It's been a regional partnership, so it's been Ballad working with every single health department in the region, and it's really an all hands on deck. And you can see that when you look at the vaccine coverage percentage compared, in our region to Tennessee and even other cities in Tennessee, we're well ahead of some other counties. And so I really think it's because we work so well with our health departments. It's going to be a week by week basis depending on supply of vaccine, but I feel like we're off to a really good start.
The state just rolled out a new web platform today where people can go on and schedule depending upon, what they do for a living, their age group, any sort of, pre-existing health issues. What's your message to people tonight? We've got that on our website, by the way, the link to it. What's your message to people who have not yet scheduled or who are still thinking about getting a vaccine?
I think there's a couple of things. So 75 and older in this region throughout Northeast Tennessee, Southwest Virginia should be able to get an appointment somewhere. So whether that's through your BHMA provider or your local health department, that is really becoming available to that age range. We would encourage people, if you have parents or grandparents in that age range, reach out to them, make sure that they understand the process, that you can help them get registered online or through their provider. And and just make sure that we're continuing to get everyone vaccinated.
We're saying 75 and older are the most vulnerable and they need to get the vaccine, but we're going to need you to call forever on the phone to get through to your health department or your doctor. We're going to need you to wait in a really long line, and we're going to need you to go online and register. And those are tough things for some people in that category. Can you see a problem there, or are you seeing that problem?
We've had a really good uptake using our BHMA providers. There are options to either go online or call your health departments, or there's the option at Bristol to where you can go without an appointment. So I really kind of feel like all avenues are covered. So you've got your provider, you've got online scheduling, or just to show up and wait in line. I really think it's key to make sure that you're reaching out to friends, neighbors, anybody that that's in that age range, people that go to church. Check on your church members. Make sure that they've been able to get an appointment. If not, certainly reach out for some help and help them get their appointments scheduled.
Yeah, advocate for them. I think that's great advice. A couple other quick things. What are you hearing about this variant that's out there that's supposedly highly contagious, even more so than the regular COVID-19? Are we seeing that in our area, and how concerned are you?
I'm watching it. Obviously, there's some concern there. We're watching the news and the research around that. And it does look like it's in the U.S. I've not had any reports of any in this region yet, so certainly we're keeping an eye on that. And what's concerning is if something's more contagious, then you're probably going to have more cases. More cases, we know a percentage of those will end up in the hospital. So while not more deadly, it certainly could lead to increased deaths just because you've got a larger population that's been exposed. So really now is the key to vaccine, to get as many people vaccinated as we can, as quickly as we can.
In normal years, we're talking about flu right now. I have heard of no one that I know that's had flu. What's going on?
our flu numbers are minimal. I still look at them every single day to make sure that we're not seeing a spike or anything. They're extremely low. And if you look at the science of flu, it makes sense because flu is not nearly as contagious as COVID. So the things that we are doing, the masking, the social distancing, I think we had an increase in flu shots this year really across the nation. I think all of those things combined really helped us keep flu at bay.
Is there a chance that someone in a provider could see the symptoms of flu and just say, oh, it's COVID, and label it as COVID and move on?
Not really. The providers that I know are really sensitive to that. We want to know because there are antivirals that we can treat flu with. And so, you know, if you come to our spot, we can certainly, there's criteria. If you meet that criteria, you get that 4-plex test, which tests for flu and COVID. So all of our patients being admitted are certainly getting that test. So we make sure that it's not flu and that we're treating the right thing. You know, I'm seeing providers in urgent cares and walk-in clinics that are doing the COVID test and the flu test. So I think providers have a very low threshold to test for both.
First time I've had a chance to see you since your recovery from COVID-19. You're doing great, I can tell.
Doing well, thank you.
Congratulations. It's good to have you back. Jamie, thank you very much for your time. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
All right.